Okay, this is our trip to Azusa, and we will be staying there for 4 days and going to a fancy hotel with a pizza restaurant and that stuff.
Mom, we know this train we are on has F59PH 811, the first F59PH on Metrolink, and a full, written scheme Hyundai Rotom set.
This is absolutely correct, Arthur. And it looks like we are now departing. And after 10 more stops, then we will arrive at Azusa.
Also for Metrolink, cars 202, 229, 263, 286, 136, and 141 got a special app with all images.
Yes! That is absolutely correct, and these are experimental, like the CCT. The Go Animate scheme is an experimental scheme because they are only applied on the F59PHs back from 2007.
That is right, Mom. And about the East Line, they have a lots of cab cars that always run, but are always put in set, but they are not deactivated.
I know.
Also on the West Line, in February 2021, Central California Transit inaugurated their INS SC44 Charger locomotives for service on the West Line. These initial 5 locomotives replaced the XDNCREMDF40PHR-2 locomotives, of which were in service since the beginning in 1995. In addition to the locomotive replacement, CCT has also implemented a renewal program on their rail cars, with each getting a fresh coat of paint and some much-needed maintenance. Since this has occurred, the West Line has not looked, or even sounded the same. Many rail cars are wrapped with advertising. In some cases there are more act coaches than regularly painted coaches. Cab cars have had most of their original mechanical bells replaced, in favor for the more louder e-bells, electronic bells. As of published date, 2 cab cars have been refurbished, of which are 8069 and 8059. 2 additional cab cars, 8051 and 8052, also got in the Phase 3 livery. However, instead of being refurbished and repainted property, wraps have been applied to these cab cars, of which are peeling off. Most of the trains have been running with the SC44 Chargers, however due to lack of maintenance and breakdowns, it's a common sight to see the 2 remaining GMDF59PH locomotives powering some trains.
I know. Also, 201 is the last F40PHR-2 to return to Camp Noseda.
Other than that, Metrolink 851 is the first F59PH to get sent for refurbishment, and it got sent out in 2018 and re-entered service back on January 2019. And while in December 2018, coaches 2402, 2405, 1402, 1455, and 1459 are the first coaches to get a refurbishment, and they all 3 entered service on June or July of 2019.
I know that. Also, 172 and 173 are formerly Metrolink 857 and 868. They got retired from Metrolink in 2022 because of 2 BL36PH locomotives 921 and 922.
Yes, and speaking of the 172 and 173, they don't have the GoNumit scheme, because the GoNumit scheme is an experimental scheme and they entered service in the modern decade.
That is absolutely correct, and 2022 is the year Metrolink retired them and sold them to CCT. And CCT putted 172 and 173 in service back on January 22, 2023. And also, here is the history of them. In 2022, Central California Transit, CCT, purchased 2 retired Metrolink F59PH locomotives, units 857 and 868. Metrolink had just begun retiring parts of its aging F59PH fleet in favor of the newer Brookville BL36PH locomotives, and 857 and 868 were among the units released from service. CCT, still relying heavily on F59s on East Line, saw the retirement as a perfect opportunity to strengthen its own roster with 2 reliable, proven locomotives. After the purchase, both units were moved to CCT property and received CCT reporting marks. But they continue to operate and there is retired condition until space opened in the shop schedule. The full modernization process began later on in 2022, when 857 and 868 entered the Rainbow City shops for an extensive overhaul. The rebuild included the installation of new EPA Tier 3 compliant prime movers, upgraded electrical systems, and a complete modernization of the control cab. Both locomotives were brought up to CCT's 2020's operating standards with updated safety systems, communication equipment, and internal improvements to extend their service life well into the future. After mechanical and electrical upgrades were completed, both locomotives were renumbered to 172 and 173 to match CCT's numbering scheme. They were then repainted into CCT's Phase 3 livery, marking their full transition from retired Metrolink units into active CCT power. Following weeks of testing, crew qualification, and acceptance trials, 172 and 173 officially entered revenue service on January 22, 2023. Today, locomotives 857 and 868 operate as modern, dependable members of the fleet, continuing the long legacy of F-59s on Central California Transit's network.
That is right, Mom. Anyways, about the GNR, the Greenwood and Northern runs from Monday to Friday from 5 am to 11 p.m., and they only run on the weekends if needed. Other than that, no weekend services. BNSF would drop off some cars at the interchange, and GNR would pick up the cars and send them to the different industries on the map. Also, the Albany local runs from Greenwood to Albany while the North Brecksville local runs from Greenwood to North Brecksville.
I know that.
Hi Arthur, nice meeting you.
Hello, nice meeting you too.
And who is this next to you?
This is my mom.
Hello! My name is Diana. I am Arthur, Austin, Mark, and Dante's mom.
Hello. I am Mike. Nice meeting you to Diana.
It is nice meeting you too, Mike.
Also, we are so excited to go to Colorado next month to see SPRR trains as well.
Yes. I agree as well.
Also, you're the best for making my childhood videos.
You too.
And also, would you like to come to dinner with us?
Sure thing.
Okay, I will see you around dinner.
You both have fun.
Hello, welcome to the hotel check-in. How many of us?
Just two of us.
Okay, this will be $100, please.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hey Mom, can we watch something on the TV?
Sure. We can. So Arthur, what do you want to watch? Got any ideas?
Can we watch South Park?
Sure. We can.